It's Rhonda in 1920. A man appears to be searching for something and reaches a bull ring. Suddenly, he notices a letter there and picks it up. He opens it, and whatever's written inside scares him. Suddenly, the exit door behind him shut. Another door opens, and an angry bull comes out of there. He tries to run, but the bull knocks him out and kills him. The letter falls from his hand, which has a clock drawn on it. The story then shifts to Chimney 5 years later. Lady Eileen Brent is ogling at her crush, Jerry Wade. Just then, her mother, Lady Caterham, shows up. They host an annual party every year for the aristocrats of the Foreign Office. The guests stay for a week and make their living from that. They then meet Maria and Oswald Coutts, who mention how much they are enjoying the party. Oswald asks to meet George Lomax as he wants to strike a secret deal with him. The Coutts run a steel factory and are planning a secret venture with the Union of the Foreign Office. He then takes a drink from Treadwell, the house manager, and thanks him. They leave, and Eileen asks her mother about the secret project, but she mentions how she has no idea. Eileen then spots two of her closest friends, Bill and Ronnie. She notices that they are hiding a bunch of clocks in their coats and asks about it. Ronnie says that Jerry sleeps through the afternoon, and they are planning to prank him with the clock. Eileen agrees to keep a secret, and both of them leave. Eileen finally meets Jerry, who has been put in Eileen's bedroom for the weekend. Turns out that Eileen's brother was in the army with Jerry, where he passed away. He then asks Eileen out for dinner on Tuesday. He asks how she would answer if someone asked her for a hand in marriage. She replies that it depends on the person asking the question. Just then, his boss Lomax comes there and says that he was supposed to be with the Coutts all night long. He needs to make a good impression so that their secret plan can be executed swiftly. Jerry excuses himself and goes back to his work. Bill and Ronnie runs to Jerry's bedroom and hide all the clocks in different places so when they all start to ring at the same time, he will have a hard time turning them off. All the guests are playing cards, with Jimmy sharing his expertise about the game. Soon, everyone goes to the dance floor and shakes their legs. Eileen and Jerry slowly get close, but soon the bell of 12 rings. It's time for her to go to bed, and she leaves even though she doesn't want to. While leaving, she notices Lomax and Oswald having a discreet conversation. The next morning, everyone had gathered in the dining space to have breakfast. The mother and daughter join them as well, and soon all the alarms go off at the same time. Maria is disturbed by the noise and asks about it. Ronnie tells her about his prank and says Jerry would sleep through those alarms as well. Even when they don't stop after time has passed, Lady Caterham asks Treadwell to go and wake up Jerry. He knocks on Jerry's door, but no one answers. After some time, he enters the room, and something inside shocks him. Caterham is losing her patience as the noise won't stop, so Eileen takes the initiative to check the room herself. She goes upstairs, but Treadwell stops her from entering the room. She senses something wrong and forces herself in. Sheer horror passes through her face when she realizes that Jerry has died. Later, the doctor checks on him and concludes that he overdosed on sleeping medicine. But Eileen isn't sure about this, as Jerry was known to be a deep sleeper. That's when the doctor says that he might have taken his own life. Eileen says that it's impossible, but Bill says that he has been under a lot of pressure from Lomax. It might have gotten to him finally. The doctors conclude it is self-inflicted and leave. Eileen is still not convinced and says that he was planning to propose to her and he will not take his life. Just then, she also notices all the clocks on the mantel. She asks the boys about how they are on top of the mantel when both of them hit it in different places. But before they can answer, Treadwell comes and says that the Coutts are leaving and she needs to see them off. While leaving, she notices that Maria is scolding one of their maid, Emily. Jimmy comes there and says that he heard what happened with Jerry and he is there for her if she needs anything. Caterham comes to see off the Coutts. They have cut their trip short as Maria can't stay with the incident that happened. Caterham tells Oswald that they had paid for 3 more days, and a refund is not an option. Their assistant, Bateman, comes to take their stuff. Caterham recognizes him as he went to school with both her son and Jerry. Before leaving, Oswald mentions that Lady Caterham is in a bad shape as they have no money and they rent their property to make a living. After their departure, Eileen gets back to Jerry's room. She starts to inspect the room and notices a watermark on the table. She figures that the glass that's kept on his table right now is the one that was kept there. She then tries to open the drawer, but it's locked. She breaks the lock open, but there's nothing inside the drawer. She then breaks the whole table down and finds a letter hidden in a deep corner. Jerry wrote it to his sister Lorraine and mentioned that he should have never mentioned 7 dials to her. That's when she notices that there are 7 clocks kept on the mantel. She is walking with her mother and asks her if she knows anything about 7 dials. She says that there is a slum named 7 Dials in London. She tells Caterham that Jerry was planning to propose to her, so he couldn't have taken his own life. She believes that he may have been murdered. She believes that someone at the party did it, and she will not rest until she finds the perpetrator. She then asks Caterham if she has spoken to their maid Emily, to which she replies negatively. She says that Emily was being cornered by Maria. She is back in her garden and hears an alarm ring. She finds a broken alarm on the ground. She calls Ronnie and asks if he put a clock on the lawn, but he refuses. He also mentions that they hid those alarms all around the room, so someone must have moved them. They also hid 8 alarms, but saw only 7 on the mantelpiece. So the one she found on the lawn must be the 8th. She says that it's a clear sign of someone being in his room that night. She says that they need to get to the bottom of it before the police close the case. They were all his friend, and they owed it to him. Ronnie agrees and says that he will do his own research, but in the meantime, she mustn't get involved in all of this. Treadwell tells Eileen that no staff member has seen Jerry use sleeping pills before, so it was a shock for them as well. Eileen asks if Treadwell or any other staff member had moved the clocks, to which he replies negatively. She then goes to meet Emily, who's crying in her room. She asks what happened between Maria and her. Emily isn't comfortable sharing the details, but Eileen assures her that she will not snitch on her. She says that she was assigned to Maria as a personal maid, but she abused her at every chance she got. Just then, Eileen notices a watermark on her drawers. She soon figures that it is from the bottle of sleeping medicine. Emily explains that she was so stressed that she couldn't sleep. Maria gave her the bottle of pills so she could get a good sleep and work better. Eileen asks if she was the one who gave the medicine to Jerry, but she refuses and says that it was stolen from her room on the night of the party. But she is sure about the fact that Jerry didn't steal them, as he had no idea that Emily had those. Eileen is furious as the case has been closed, stating that it was a self-inflicted accident. She feels that Maria might have something to do with that. Just then, she notices a suspicious man looking at them. None of them knows the man. Just then, Maria shows up there as well. Eileen confronts her and tells her everything, but she simply dismisses it and says that she had nothing to do with it. She mentions Ronnie about the letter, but he also has no idea about 7 dials. She mentions that after killing Jerry, someone organized the 7 clocks to send a clear message, and she needs to find what it is. Ronnie asks her about why she cares so much. That's when she reveals that Jerry pulled her brother's body from the battlefield. He became the pillar of their family after her brother died, and she owes it to him. Ronnie says that he will do the investigation from his end, but she mustn't get too involved in this in the meantime. He leaves, and she sees the suspicious man looking at her again. She starts to follow the man and finds him inside a telephone booth. After he leaves, she goes to the booth and redials the last number. But she is shocked to find that the call connects to Scotland Yard. She gets back to her place and tells her mother that she is going to London. Caterham asks why, and she says that she is investigating Jerry's murder. Caterham says that it's a bad idea and she is scared for her daughter. She says that Eileen is the only one she has left and she can't go through any more loss. But Eileen says that if there's something she has learned from her father, it's to follow her heart. She then takes a leave. She rushes her car towards London. Meanwhile, Treadwell brings a letter addressed to Eileen. It is a threat to Eileen to keep her nose out of things, or life will be in grave danger. Eileen is rushing towards London, but stops soon. She gets out of the car when she notices someone lying on the floor. She runs towards a person, and it turns out to be Ronnie, who has been fatally shot. He mentions 7 dials and says, "Tell Jimmy." She tries to get something more out of him, but he dies. Soon after, the members of the 7 Dials Club gets an anonymous call, and they meet at their secret location. A scientist named Cyril Modip is working on his secret invention. His sister says that they need to leave before the man comes. He takes a clock and an envelope and runs with his sister. He reaches an empty spot, and his sister says that the man was supposed to be there. Just then, a woman comes there and shoots the sister dead. Modip tries to rescue her, but the woman points the gun at him. She says that the man he was supposed to meet has gone to a bull ring and has been killed. She asks him for the formula, and he slides it. She bends down to take it, but Modip shoots her dead. He then collects his formula and breaks down in front of his sister's body. It's Ronnie's Memorial Day. Eileen tells Jimmy that Jerry and Ronnie's murder must be connected. She was thinking that Maria had something to do with it, but she now believes that the Foreign Office is behind this. Ronnie's last words before dying were, "Tell Jimmy about 7 dials." Jimmy isn't sure why Ronnie would mention him, but Eileen says that she is trying to figure that out. Jimmy says that he met with Jerry's sister Lorraine to give her the news about his demise. She says that she needs to talk to her, as Jerry's last letter was to her. Jimmy says that he will arrange a meeting between all 3 of them, and he has started growing a liking towards her. Just then, both notice the same man following Eileen again. She says that the man has been following her for a long time and runs behind him. She follows his car and reaches Scotland Yard. The cops try to stop her, but she uses her wits and gets inside the man's office. The man knows about Eileen's identity and introduces himself as Superintendent Battle. He says that he is investigating the murder of Jerry Wade. Eileen gets excited and tells him about her findings, but his suspicions are on her. He says that Jerry died in her bedroom and she was the first person to discover Ronnie's body, but she refuses these claims as baseless. She says that either the Foreign Office or Coots had something to do with it. She asks Battle if he knows anything about 7 dials. He says that there was a place long ago, but it has been demolished. Eileen shows him the letter. He asks why she didn't submit the evidence, to which she says that she didn't think it would be important. He reads the letter and says that there's a nightclub named 7 Dials, but he knows nothing more. He advises her to stay away from all of this, as people have already lost their lives, and she doesn't want to become a target. She says that she will not get involved, but he knows very well that it's a lie. Eileen goes to dinner with Bill. She asks if Ronnie mentioned anything to him before he died. He says that he didn't say anything suspicious. She asks him about the 7 Dials Club. At first, he says that he has no idea, but Eileen knows very well when he's lying. He finally breaks and says that it used to be a famous underground nightclub. It was a rage back in the day, but no one goes there anymore. Eileen says that she wants to go there right now. Bill tries to convince her not to go, but does not affect her. They reach the club, and a man named Alfred welcomes Bill. Eileen recognizes him as one of their footmen, but she had no idea that he had left the job. He says that Lady Caterham didn't pay him and fired him from his job. She apologizes on her behalf, and he lets them in. She gets in and finds the place packed. Both of them start to enjoy the dance floor. Just then Eileen notices Alfred going inside a secret door and follows him. She walks up the stairs and finds a room. She manages to break the lock and get inside. She gets in and finds a clock-looking table with 7 seating arrangements. There are also 7 clocks on the mantelpiece. Just then, she hears people coming in and immediately hides inside a cupboard. 6 people enter wearing cloaks and masks, taking their seats accordingly. One of them asks about Ronnie's death. Another one replies that it has been closed as an accident. One of them says that they need to secure Dr. Moddip's formula before it falls into the wrong hands. It's also mentioned that number 7 is the one who dealt with Ronnie. Number 7 is then asked by other members to attend Wyvern Abbey and steal the formula, as Dr. Moddip is going to visit there soon. The meeting is then dismissed, and Eileen leaves the closet. She tells Jimmy about everything in the meeting. He says that it's a secret society, and it's getting dangerous. She says that she is getting suspicious about Bill, as he pretended not know anything about the 7 Dials Club, but he clearly did. His butler comes there and says that Lorraine has come to meet them. He also mentions that a man from Lloyd called Jimmy, and he must reach out to him sooner. Eileen welcomes her and apologizes for Jerry's demise. She says that they were both step-siblings, but they were very close. She gives Lorraine the letter and asks about the 7 Dials Club. Lorraine says that she went there a couple of times, and Jerry asked her not to. Eileen tells Lorraine that Jerry must have found out about the secret society and was going to expose them. Number 7 was the one who killed both Jerry and Ronnie, and he is going to attend Wyvern Abbey and might kill again. Jimmy says that he is going to secure an invite from Bill. Eileen says that she will try to get invited as well, but both of them ask Lorraine to stay out of it, as all 3 of them being there together might raise suspicion. Jimmy then orders his servant to buy him a pistol and asks him to get Eileen one as well. Eileen calls Lomax and asks about the gathering in Wyvern Abbey. Lomax is a bit shocked, as no one was supposed to know about it. He says that she mustn't tell anyone else, as it involves national interest. She says that her mother wants to offer help as she has a great experience in hosting gatherings. He is over the moon, as having help will make sure that the meeting is a success. Later that day, Eileen asks her mother why she kicked out Alfred. She says that she has no idea who Eileen is talking about, and it must be one of the head servants who has kicked him out. Just then, a guest shows up, and Eileen says that it might be Lomax. She says that he is here to ask for help with the gathering. She refuses immediately, but Eileen says that she can't spend her days locked up in this house alone. She promises that she will help her with everything. Lomax says that the Prime Minister has asked him to arrange this gathering at Wyvern Abbey. They are hosting Dr. Moddip and need to impress him, so he agrees to share his invention with them, which will ensure the country's great future. Eileen asks what this invention might be. Lomax reveals that it's a formula which, when applied to steel, becomes so tough that even a thin wire becomes as strong as a steel bar. If they can impress Moddip and get this formula, then their army would become one of the world's strongest. He is also impressed by seeing Eileen's interest in this matter. He mentions that he has no aptitude for hosting gathering, and Eileen assures him that her mother will be the best help for her. He then accidentally reveals that he has received a warning letter from Seven Dials stating that Lomax should stay out of it, or he might face mortal peril. The Germans are also eyeing this formula, and they might try to sabotage the event. He is not sure if he should proceed with it, but that's when Eileen jumps in and says that he is a brave man and must not be scared by such intimidation. Lomax is so impressed that he immediately invites Eileen, but Caterham says no, as it might be a danger to her. But Lomax assures her that he will personally make sure that she is safe. Soon, they head for Wyvern Abbey, and Lomax greets Eileen. Jimmy has also shown up, but under false identity. Both Coots have joined with Bateman. Lomax says that Scotland Yard has sent their best man to ensure their safety, and it's none other than Battle. Eileen notices that Oswald is ambidextrous and can shoot with both hands. Lomax then gathers everyone and says that their only goal is to earn Dr. Moddip's trust and make sure to secure the formula for their country. Just then, Dr. Moddip pulls over, and he is introduced to everyone in the group. Lomax then takes him inside the castle to rest. Jimmy says that he is keeping an eye out for everyone to find out who number 7 might be. He says that he is suspicious about Oswald and Lomax himself, as both of them seem to be great at shooting. Just then Battle shows up and says that she still got involved even when he asked her not to. Eileen says that she is there just as a guest and will not cause any distractions in his investigation. Everyone gathers for dinner. Lomax asks Moddip to share about his life. He says that he was born in West Africa. At the time of his birth, it was under the German government. He was later sent to Germany for higher studies. He also mentions that he fought for Germany in the war. Everyone is baffled, but he says that he had no other choice. He was under German government and was forced to participate. He lost his entire family in war. But now he is a citizen of France and is under England's protection. Lomax assures him that England is against any wars and that Moddip can only trust them. Oswald says that he now wants to see the formula in action. Moddip takes out a pocket watch and says that the casing is made using the formula. It's so strong that it can withstand any heat or force. Oswald says that he wants to see its power. He brings out the shotgun and shoots the watch. But to all their shock, there isn't even a scratch on the metal. They are all impressed, and Lomax says that there is a safe in his room where he can store his formula. After everyone goes to bed, Bill confronts both of them for getting mixed up. Eileen says that their friend's murder is in the house and will try to steal the formula. Eileen says that they will keep watch one by one so no one can get into Matt's room. Jimmy decodes that he will be the first one to keep watch. Eileen goes back to her room and changes into comfortable clothes. She then jumps out of her window and falls into a bush. She notices a strange man walking towards her, but it's just a Battle. He says that he is on guard duty, but is not sure what she is doing out. She tries to make some nonsense up, but Battle refuses to listen to anything and says that she must go back to her room, which she does. She gets back and finds that Jimmy is missing from his spot. She goes to his room and hears struggling noises coming from there. Suddenly, she hears a gunshot, and everyone else gathers there soon. They walk in through the back door and find Jimmy lying dead inside the room. Eileen remembers the day her brother's body was brought back from the war. She also recalls the watch that his father used to wear at all times. Everyone gathers around Jimmy's body, but he suddenly wakes up. He has been shot in the shoulder. He says he got in a scuffle with a masked man who shot him, and jumped through the window. Just then Eileen notices that Moddip isn't there. Eileen runs to his room and finds him dead, asleep on his bed. She notices the same sleeping pill bottle that killed Jerry. Battle soon discovers that the lock has been broken and the formula is gone. Battle immediately secured the premises. He also says that he has caught an intruder and brings her in. It's none other than Lorraine. She says that she couldn't keep herself away from her brother's death and stuck her way in. Battle says that she has been searched and nothing has been found. Jimmy also testifies that the man he fought was larger and strong, and it couldn't have been Lorraine. Soon Eileen notices that Oswald is missing from the scenario. In fact, he hasn't shown up with all the commotion. He soon comes inside the room. He says that he went for a walk and found a gun on the lawn. Bill comments that the assailant must have dropped it on his way out. Battle orders everyone to go back to their respective rooms. He assigns Lorraine one as well, and says that she will be kept under surveillance. The next morning, Eileen notices that Battle is swirling around the ground as he seems to have found something. She hears a knock on the door, and it's Lomax. He says that he couldn't sleep through the entire night as he kept on thinking about her. He says that they are a perfect match and asks for her hand in marriage. But before he can get an answer, she jumps out of her window. She finds Battle, who's still inspecting the grounds. She asks him about it, but he refuses to answer. But she is persistent, and he gives in. He says that he was looking at footprints that seem to be rather inconsistent. Eileen notices that there's only one set, so it could either be of Oswald's or Jimmy's attacker. She also notices a dent in the lawn. Battle says that it's from the pistol. But there's only one set of footprints, which means that someone is lying. Also, dropping the gun while running could never cause such a dent in the lawn. Someone must have thrown it out of a window with a lot of force. Battle gathers everyone and says that he found 2 bullets. One was in the room and the other was found in the hall. Maria interrupts the conversation and tells Lorraine that one of her earrings is missing. She panics immediately and says that they were a gift from her brother. She asks to be supervised by a constable as she goes back to her room and grabs the other one. Battle agrees and she leaves. Dr. Moddip says that he is feeling betrayed. He was brought to the country by the promise of safety. But within 24 hours, he has been drugged and his formula has been stolen. Lomax reassures him that the formula hasn't left the ground and someone inside still has it. Eileen notices something on the table and asks about it. Battle says that it's a glove that was retrieved from the ground. He asks Jimmy to put on, which he does. Eileen notices that there are teeth marks and asks about them, but Battle has no solid answer for it. Battle then says that one of the bullets came from Jimmy, who was shot, but the other one was shot by the perpetrator's gun, which was discovered by Oswald, and his fingerprints are the only ones present. Battle says that the perpetrator wore the gloves, shot Jimmy, and threw the gun out of the window. Battle then asks Oswald to throw the gun out of the window with full force. Battle leaves for the lawn, and Oswald follows his instructions as well. Battle comes back and remarks that Oswald was able to throw it further from the actual dent mark, which clearly shows that he is a strong man. Lomax says that it can very well mean that the perpetrator shot Jimmy and ran away. But Battle says that he would have been caught by the cops surrounding the premises, just like Lorraine was. Just then, everyone notices that Lorraine is still missing, and Battle goes to fetch her. He finds his constable lying unconscious on the ground. Lorraine has taken off with the formula that she stole. Eileen asks the boys to follow her as she goes to find her. Jimmy says that they should go to the railway station as she might try to flee from there. They reach the station and start to look for her frantically. Eileen finally spots her boarding a train and follows her as well. Bill says that he will go to the opposite coach so they can cover most grounds. Eileen says that she might be dangerous, but Bill shows her the gun that he stole from the evidence. He leaves, and Jimmy says that Bill has been acting weird since the beginning. He thinks that Bill was the one who stole the formula and gave it to Lorraine. They are both in cahoots. But Eileen still isn't so sure as he was with her when they went to Seven Dials, so he couldn't have been number 7. Both of them reach into the pantry and find that Bill has cornered Lorraine. She says that she meant no harm, and she stole it to honor Jerry, as he died for that formula. But Eileen refuses to buy her bullshit and says that she was the one who drugged Moddip using the same medicine that was there in Jerry's room. She was at the party, and she was the one who poisoned her own brother. Lorraine refuses the claim, but it's far too late for that. She asks Lorraine to show her the ticket. She does so reluctantly, and it's the ticket for the same train. Everything was pre-planned, and she is meeting with someone at the next station to sell the formula. She finally breaks and asks Jimmy for help. He points his gun towards Eileen and says that he was with Lorraine all this time. Eileen finally figures everything out and says that there was no other attacker in Wyvern Abbey. She put on the gloves on her left hand and shot himself to cause a distraction. He then took off the gloves by using his teeth and threw the gun into the lawn. Bill says that their games are over, but Jimmy shoots him and Lorraine runs away. She says that Jerry used to be their friend, but Jimmy says that he needs money. And now he needs to get rid of Eileen as well. But before he can shoot her, she disarms him and grabs the gun. Jimmy runs away, and Eileen checks on Bill. But he is alive. He says that he stole Modip's watch, and the bullet hit it, causing him no harm. She says that he's going after Jimmy, and meanwhile, he must stop the train before the next station comes. A cat and mouse erupt inside the train. Bill pulls an emergency stop, but it has no effect. Lorraine manages to hide inside a washroom. Eileen finally spots Jimmy, but he has a gun and kicks everyone out of the coach. Eileen says that now she knows that he is the one who killed Ronnie. Ronnie figured out too much, and on the day of his demise, he was trying to tell Eileen that his murderer was Jimmy. But he promises that he didn't kill Jerry. It was Lorraine who laced his drink throughout the night and left the bottle by the bedside. He says that he settled those clocks on the mantelpiece to throw everyone off. He says that he is desperate for money and she can join hands with him, and he will give her a cut. He owes money to the mafia, and he had no other choice. Eileen is furious and says that not only is he a murderer, but he is also a terrorist to his own country. Jimmy laughs and says that he isn't the one who planned everything. He is merely a pawn in a big game. He finally breaks and says that they were supposed to meet the mastermind of the game on the train. They were supposed to hand over the formula and get their money. The mastermind is sitting in the front row. Just then, Eileen disarms and knocks him out. She heads towards a compartment, and just then the train stops as well. Lorraine gets out of the washroom, but Bill catches her. He says that the game is over and locks her inside the washroom. Eileen comes there and asks him to call the cops. She walks towards the first coupe and is left in shock when she finds her mother sitting there. She sits inside and asks why she is on the train. Caterham says that she just wanted to get out. Eileen has figured that her own mother was behind it all. Jimmy and Lorraine were going to pass on the formula to her, and she was going to sell it to the Germans. Caterham finally breaks and says that she did plan everything, but Lorraine was the one who killed Jerry, as she was too impulsive. Eileen figures that she hosted the gathering that night so that Jerry could be poisoned as he figured everything out. She says that Caterham was betraying her own country. She snaps and says that England has betrayed her. They sent her son away to war and only got back his dead body. Her own husband tried to work for the country and got killed, but Noon could care less. Everyone she has loved has been taken away while trying to protect the country. Eileen says that she is still alive and she should be enough for her mother. She says that she is doing it all for money. They have to make their living by renting their home, and if they lose it, they will have nothing left to survive on. So she is doing everything that she can to keep them afloat. She thought that with Lorraine and Jimmy doing the front work, she could never be traced. But she underestimated Eileen. She then politely refuses to make an escape. But she points the gun at her own mother and says that she can't betray her country. Caterham is proud of the daughter she has raised and gives up. Just then, Battle shows up there and figures out the entire story. She leaves the compartment, leaving her mother to be arrested. She goes back to her palace with a broken heart. Days pass as Eileen spends her time alone in the house. Modip has successfully retrieved his formula and handed it over to the UK government. One day Alfred comes to the house and says that he has been sent to get her. She isn't sure what he is talking about, and he says that he is an employee of the Seven Dials Club and his employers have sent him to get her. She refuses to go, but he points his gun at her. She was taken to the club at gunpoint. She gets inside the room, and all the members have already gathered. She takes a seat. She thinks that she is about to be killed, but that's when number 7 reveals his identity, and it's none other than Superintendent Battle. He says that the Seven Dials Club never killed anyone. It's an organization to ensure world safety from foreign threats. He was there at Wyvern Abbey to protect Modip and his formula, although they failed. He then says that he has an offer for her. He asks her to join the club as the 7th member. She is bewildered, and he says that their most trusted 7th member was killed. And he was none else but her father, Lord Caterham. He was going to meet Modip to secure his formula, but was killed by the Germans. He was there at the time of his death, but it was far too late. After his death, Lady Catherham got hold of all his papers and found out about the formula. He says that her father was their greatest agent, and she is a spitting image of him. Their job would be life-threatening, but she dares to take it head-on. She thinks for a moment, but soon puts her father's shoes on and accepts her position as the 17th member of the Seven Dials Club. You were watching the recap of the 2026 show Agatha Christie's Seven Dials. If you like this video, please share, like, and comment. Check out our other videos. You may enjoy them.